I've always loved running. Not competitively, just to clear my head. I wasn't the fastest, but I had the rhythm of my feet on the ground was like therapy. Peaceful, simple. Back in high school, I used to make some side money running a neighbor's puppy, Izzy. She was hyper and needed to burn off energy, and I got $10 per run. Win-win. Her house was in a quiet rural area, near a forest preserve. The place was a little strange. Scattered houses, an old cemetery, some abandoned farms, and even rumors of a disbanded cult commune nearby. My parents warned me not to run in isolated areas, but I figured I was fast. I could outrun anything. One evening, just before dusk, I took Izzy out for a longer run. The sunset lit the treetops with a warm orange glow, but shadows crept across the road. It felt darker than it should have been. The only sounds were my breathing, Izzy's panting, and the steady thud of my shoes on the pavement. Once in a while, a bird fluttered or a distant dog barked, but mostly it was quieterly quiet. The farther we ran, the quieter it got, like the world itself was holding its breath. About 2 miles in, we reached a stretch of road flanked by thick woods. That's when Izzy stopped, completely still. Her ears perked, and she stared into the forest. A low whimper slipped out. I followed her gaze. At first, I saw nothing, just dense trees and gently swaying branches. Then, between 2 trunks, I saw a man. He was short, maybe in his 30s, with a hat pulled low over his face, a thick jacket, and gloves even, though the weather was mild. His eyes were fixed on me, unblinking. His stillness was wrong, like he wasn't supposed to be there. I told myself he was probably just a hiker or a hunter. Still, something about how he stood half-eaten, watching sent a chill down my spine. I gave him a polite nod, pretending not to be fazed, and started jogging again. My heart beat faster not from the run. But just a few steps later, Izzy stopped again, her body rigid. I turned. The man had moved. He wasn't behind the tree anymore. He was right at the edge of the forest, just a few feet from the road. Still staring, his head tilted slightly now, like he was studying me. He wanted me to notice. I felt cold creep down my back. My instincts screamed to run, but I forced myself to stay calm. Maybe he was just trying to freak me out. If I ignored him, maybe he'd stop. I kept running, forcing myself to stay steady. But just as I turned forward again, I caught movement in my peripheral vision. I looked back. He was sprinting toward me. He had a butcher cleaver in his hand. A scream caught in my throat as pure terror surged through me. I didn't think. I just ran. Adrenaline exploded inside me. My breath came in gasps. Izzy struggled to keep up, her leash jerking in my hand as we tore down the road. I had never known fear like that. But do you like more? The kind that whispers, if you stop, you die. I glanced back once. He was still chasing us, his face twisted in rage, his mouth open like he was growling. The blade gleamed in the fading sunlight, but his movements were erratic, His arms flailed, legs pumping too fast, almost in. Then I realized he wasn't breathing. I could hear everything. Ione gasps, Izzy's panting, even the rustling of trees. But from him, nothing, just the pounding of his boots behind me. No breath, no sound but footsteps. We reached a neighborhood. Cutting through yards, my vision blurred, my legs burned, but I didn't stop. I ducked behind a shed, dragging Izzy with me, pressed myself against the wooden wall, panting. Silence. I turned my head. At the top of the hill, he stood, watching. The cleaver hung loosely from his hand. His chest rose and fell like he had just stopped running. But he wasn't chasing anymore. He was just standing there, staring. We locked eyes. His face was blank now. No anger, no emotion. Just ... emptiness. Minutes passed. A car appeared in the distance. Its headlights cut through the dark. And then he turned and walked back into the woods. No rush, no hesitation, just gone. I didn't move for a long time. When I finally did, I took the longest, most hidden route, back to the woman's house. I snuck through her yard, avoiding the road. My hands were shaking as I took my payment. I acted like nothing happened. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell my parents. I knew they'd never let me run alone again. I don't know who he was. A drifter. Part of the old cult. Something else. But I do know one thing. I never ran in that direction again.